Before we get started with this is only going to be talking about Mega Gumballs, not rare Megas or ultra rare Mega Gumballs. Those will be in a different video. Now that that's out the way, here is a quick explanation on all the Mega Gumballs and how useful they can be in solo. Starting off the list is Aftertaste, which allows you to keep all your perks after going down. This will last a full 3 rounds but can be replaced by other Gobble Gums. During the early game, this Gumball has very little use, unless you have perks of course. Even then, it still has very little use, since the zombies aren't as aggressive and you most probably don't have that many perks. This Gobble Gum is better and stronger during the mid game, and even stronger late game, since you should have most of your perks by then. Depending on how high the rounds are, the stronger this Gobble Gum will be, since you are spending more time in the higher rounds, giving you more use out of it per round. Next we have Burnout. When taking damage from a zombie, a puff of red smoke will appear, killing any nearby zombies. This will last forever, as long as you don't get hit twice. This can also be replaced by other Gobble Gums. During the early game, this Gobble Gum isn't very strong and can be easily lost if you're knifing zombies to try to get some bonus points off them. During the mid game, this is stronger, since zombies group up with each other a lot faster and you can hoard them up a lot easier, not to mention how big the blast radius of Burnout is. Burnout will one-shot any zombie, no matter what round it is. Late game is when it's the strongest, since zombies will most likely swarm you faster. As long as you avoid getting hit, you will be safe from not losing your Gobble Gum. Dead of Nuclear Winter is up next, which gives you the ability to spawn a nuke whenever you feel like it. It can also be activated 2 times, but can be replaced by other Gobble Gums. During the early game, you can use this to get some free points, as it doesn't really have that much other use apart from speedrunning the early rounds. The mid game isn't much different to the early game. Using nukes to get some free points or even speedrunning some of the rounds can be done during the mid game as well. During the late game, it can still be used for speedrunning but isn't really going to help you with your points, since you most likely have enough points to buy whatever you want to buy. Next up is the one that I can't say, so fuck it. Turns any current weapon you are holding into a Pack-a-Punch weapon for 1 minute. You get 2 full uses out of it, but it can be replaced by other Gobble Gums while having the Pack-a-Punch weapon out. During the early game, this can be very strong, but very weak at the same time. It is weak since you will be getting less points for killing zombies. It can also be very strong while doing the rituals. Being able to kill the Keepers and even the Margwas can help a lot at times. The mid game, it can be very strong and weak again. It can be weak because you may already have a Pack-a-Punch weapon. It can be very strong because you might not have a Pack-a-Punch weapon. This may give you the points to Pack-a-Punch. Late game, this has next to no use since you should have all your weapons Pack-a-Punch. There is 2 downsides to this Gobble Gum though. You can't Pack-a-Punch the Wonder Weapon and any already Pack-a-Punch weapons, making it next to useless late game. I'm Feeling Lucky is our next one, which allows you to spawn a random power-up. It has 2 actives and can be replaced by other Gobble Gums. Early game, this just requires some luck, as it's called I'm Feeling Lucky. Just to get a double points or something that allows you to get some points during the early game can help you a lot. The mid and late games are exactly the same as the early games. You're just hoping to get that one power up which will help you kill zombies. A max ammo, a death machine, and insta-kill are the ones I personally look for during the mid and late game. Immolation Liquidation is up next, which gives you the ability to spawn in a free fire cell. This can be activated up to 3 times, but can also be replaced by other Gobble Gums. The best time to use this Gobble Gum is during the early game, since you don't have many points to afford the box and all the doors. Pricing of the box and Gobble Gum machine go down to 10 points, which can be a real lifesaver, especially when you need to deal with the Margwas after each ritual. A fire sale during the mid game isn't as helpful as the early game, but it can still spawn a box close to your training area to allow you to try get something better. During the late game, this Gobble Gum is pretty much the same as the mid game, and you won't have to go looking for the box and you can just spawn it next to where you are training. If you've already got all the weapons you've got though, this Gobble Gum is pretty much next to useless. Licensing Contractor is up next, which allows you to spawn in a Carpenter power-up. You can activate this 3 times, but it can be replaced by other Gobble Gums. The early game is the only time this will be useful, as it will only be useful for getting points. You can get 1200 points off this with a double points, making a $700 profit off it. It's something at least. This is next to pointless during the mid game and late game, because you can just simply kill zombies and get enough points off them. Take the gameplay for an example. 1200 points isn't really going to affect 70,000 points. But during the early game, 1200 points will be a lot better with 1500 points, almost doubling your current score. Next is Phoenix Up, which is a useless gobblegum actually in Solar. The reason behind that is because you can only activate it when a teammate is down. You can't activate it in Solar, even when you are down. Popping in next is Pop Shocks, which gives you an electric effect when knifing, which will one-shot multiple zombies. You can have an electric knife which will one-shot 5 times, one after another. This can also be replaced by other gobblegums. During the early game, this is only good for one thing, and that is killing the Margwas after the rituals. Even then, you don't get any points for killing the Margwas, and 10 points for killing normal zombies. Mid-game, it can be very strong. It can get you out of a lot of tough situations. Not only that, but it can save you a lot of ammo when killing zombies, and even Margwas. And since Pop Shocks one-shots Margwas forever, it can make things very easy. Late game is pretty much the same, but the zombies will be more clustered up, meaning more kills with one knife. Next up is Respin Cycle, which allows you to respin the box whenever you use it. You may respin the box 2 times for free. This can also be replaced by other gobblegums. During the early game, this can be really strong. You may be a poor person and can only hit the box once. With this, you can make that number into 3. Not only that, but you may get something you want. All I get is fucking 3 bootleggers. The mid and late game are the same, where the chances of you having enough points to buy the box more than once are high, but you just want to respin the box with your gobblegum that you have. Just as a heads up though, once you get all your weapons you want, this kind of becomes pointless since you have so much money and the weapons you already want. Clenching its way in next is Unclenchable, which allows you to carry an extra perk. Not only can you carry one extra perk, but you can do this multiple times, allowing you to get every perk in the game. This can also be replaced by the gobblegums. Early game, this is next to pointless because you must probably only have 1 to 2 perks, and the gumball will only go away once you get your 5th perk. During the mid game, this can be strong since it will allow you to carry 5 perks, even 6 if you get lucky enough. Late game, it is the strongest since you will be able to carry all the perks on the map. There is one problem with this gumball though. If you go down with 5 or more perks, your perk carrying limit will go back down to 4, so this is a high risk, high reward technique. Lastly is Who's Keeping Score question mark, which allows you to spawn in at free double points. You are able to spawn in 2 free double points at any given time. This can also be replaced by other gobblegums. In the early game, this can be very strong since getting points can be pretty hard during the early game. So using this will get you quite some points. Not only that, but you can also get double points from killing each Margwa head. So if you're lucky enough, you can get a total of 3,000 points just from killing the Margwa, and even more from killing zombies. Although you most probably don't need points, they're still handy to have, so during the mid and late game, this can be very strong. If you know how to train, this can help you get a lot of points, especially late game, getting an average of 13k points per double points. Thanks for watching. If you agree or disagree, please tell me. I would like to hear your thoughts on all the Mega Gumballs in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.